And so that everyone knows, we're recording the session. So Ralph, please go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to introduce this meeting and talk about some of the, or overview the accomplishments of the first quarter of this year. Have quite a bit to talk about. First of all, at the end of March, the last week in March, many of us participated in a NSF's workshop. The workshop came about as a result of a grant from NSF that was won by Steve Kwan and Yasi and Jim. And the purpose of the workshop was to draft an agenda for the next phase of research of NSF in the next several years. So I think it was quite prestigious for ISSIP to be given the lead in doing that. Another one of our initiatives in our strategic plan for this year was the creation of a technology radar service, and I'm happy to report that Sunil has successfully launched this project, and he'll talk more about that later. ISSIP continues to serve, as it always has, as a network for collaboration in the area of service innovation, and we do publications of various kinds, white papers, conferences, activities with our members. Specifically, Haluk and I have been co-authoring some publications with our partners at GE. We've also been involved in the Hicks conference in January, and this is the third year that ISSIP sponsored a mini track there, and I think we're going to be a permanent fixture at the Hicks conference from now on. Another strategic initiative this year was to expand our internationalization. Now, we got started on this in a big way when we recruited JST, the Japan Science and Technology Agency, as an institutional member. You can see from this list that we're doing some other things. We have done other things this quarter, and going into the summer, I've been invited to give a talk at the 4th Swiss Conference on Data Science, and Christoph Heitz, who is a member of ISSIP, is also the president of the Swiss Alliance for Data Intensive Services, so we're making a good connection with his organization there. And we have some other projects that are in our strategic plan that are in the planning stages right now, but I hope that at our next board meeting I'll be able to report on the launching of some new projects out of the plan, including our what we call our Innovation Uber Innovation Projects Program, to bring our academic members and industry members together on innovation projects. And our education SIG is proceeding to design curricula for companies, IBM specifically, but other companies in the area of service and service innovation. So a lot has gone on, and I will, speaking of the strategic plan, I will let Heather Yurko, who has been really vital to us in formalizing the procedure for drafting the strategic plan every year and having it reviewed by a strategy council, and having that council give us feedback on our progress during the year. And Heather has come forward to chair that strategy council, so I'll let her describe in more detail what they do.
Thanks so much, Ralph. So hello, everyone. Welcome. I wanted to speak a little bit today around our Strategy Council update. We did recently form just this year, as Ralph had mentioned, with members from Cisco, GE, IBM, and we will have folks from JST joining us as well. Those two folks are in process of being identified and finalized, and so for our next quarter's update, we should have the names in both of there as well. One of the options that we decided to go forward with was to have folks both from our corporations themselves, as well as some of the folks that we partner very closely with from our academic communities. And so you can see for Cisco and GE specifically, we pulled in folks that we're partnering with outside of our formal institutional organizations to represent us and our interests as part of the Strategy Council. So we have reviewed the 2017 strategic plan. We provided feedback to our executive committee, and our focus will now start to turn to how we provide value messaging out to both our academic and our industrial partners. So that way we really help people from both of our main constituencies understand the real value that ISSIP can bring to their communities. We'll start to work with our executive committee over this quarter to really do some additional goal setting for ISSIP as a whole, and look at some metrics that we want to start holding all of our SIGs as well as our executive board and our strategy council too. Are there any questions around anything for the strategy council at this time?
Okay.
Heather, this is Sunil. What do you see as the output of this?
So one of the outputs that we had, Sunil, was the actual strategic plan. One of the other things that we would like to see coming out will be kind of almost like communication packages and information that we can start to share out directly to our current as well as potential academic and industrial partners. So part of what we're starting to put together is packaging around our value prop from ISSIP as a company, looking at basically different tiers of membership value that you can get. So if you come in as a free member, here's what you can receive. If you come in as a paid member, here's what you can receive. Potentially looking at different layers of membership. So we want to explore some of those things as part of the strategy council, just to see how we can best serve the community that we're setting out to serve.
Gotcha. Will part of that include why ISSIP as well?
Yes, that's exactly it. So really, what is the value that ISSIP brings to the table, and why ISSIP really is different from a lot of other professional societies that you can join.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Heather. The next item on the agenda is, as Ralph mentioned, we had a workshop, NSF-sponsored workshop on March 29th and 30th here in Silicon Valley. San Jose State University co-sponsored this in addition to NSF, and we're very grateful to Professor Stephen Kwan, Associate Dean of Lucas School of Business, and the Dean, Dr. Dan Mushevi, who really supported this effort. About 60 people, about 30 academics and 30 industry, or roughly a little bit less than that, a few from representing government, especially NSF, attended the workshop. And the goal of the workshop is really develop an agenda for industry, academia collaboration for to promote the next generation of smart service systems. So the workshop was really designed to hear more from industry as to what industry sees in the horizon as need for research, things that they see too risky to invest themselves in the next several years, where NSF can actually direct some funding into academia, and then through professional associations like ISSIP, partnerships can develop between academia and industry on those research, promoting those research agenda. So it was a really important workshop. We had really world-class speakers. We had Eddie Lyongasari who heads the Accenture Lab as one of the keynotes, and Harry Chesborough as another keynote. And we had stellar speakers, several of whom are on this call: Prashant Rama, Jim, Ralph, and I hope I'm not forgetting people who are on this call, and others who weren't. Out of the format of the workshop was 2 days. The first day we had a whole bunch of speakers, and the second day were working groups. It was very much a hands-on workshop. And so 8 working groups and 8 themes came out of the workshop, and we'll be writing the report of that workshop, and everybody will get a chance to read the position paper and recommendations that will come out of that. And our commitment to NSF is a white paper by November of this year, and potentially there could be an opportunity for other publications who participated in this workshop. So I'll turn it over for the next item on the agenda. I'll turn it over to DJ Christman from Cisco. DJ, would you please take this one?
Yeah, definitely. So I just wanted to quickly cover sort of an opportunity we had to partner with the Savannah College of Art and Design, the Service Innovation Framework SIG, which Heather and myself lead from Cisco. And it actually ended up being recognized for a 2017 European Product Design Award, the collaboration we had with SCAD. But essentially, as our framework we have created as part of our SIF SIG has really become more mature, we're looking for different ways to evangelize it, partner with industry and students and universities. And we embarked basically at the end of 2016 in partnering with Dr. Mauricio Manhias's service design class at SCAD to develop a framework centered around evangelizing our SIF, such as, for example, what would it look like to host a workshop that went over our SIF. So it was a great opportunity and experience partnering with Dr. Mauricio's students. Our SIF group mentored them as they were designing this playbook, and it was a great benefit, or it was just nice to see that it won this award as well. So that was some nice recognition that ISSIP had that our group embarked on, and there are some related publications coming in the pipeline related to both this playbook as well as our SIF in general, which are covered there. One of them will actually be on cisco.com, which will be a good industry use case for ISSIP to show.
Thanks, DJ. And in the next few weeks, we'll put all of these on ISSIP.com as well, because there's a lot of great work with Heather and DJ's leadership in this SIG and contributions of many that culminated into several bodies of knowledge. One is the service innovation blocks. The other one is this methodology that the SIG has developed called people-centered innovation methodology. And then these are the foundational works that really led to the playbook. And in the next few weeks, we'll do a better job of actually publicizing this in the greater ISSIP. Thanks, DJ. Sunil, I'll turn it over to you to tell us about the technology radar.
Excellent, great. Thanks, Yasi. So as was mentioned earlier, one of the things we've been working on as part of the strategic initiatives for 2017 is to look at building a technology radar. And the idea behind the radar is to add value to the overall ISSIP proposition, which is, Heather, partly why I asked the question earlier. I think the idea here is we start to build out a radar that'll compose initially of a document, but the document will then become the foundation by which we can start to look at technologies that are evolving across us. And you see a list here off to the left. This is not designed to be an exhaustive list, but ideas that were generated by folks here on the board and some of our volunteers as well. And what we want to do here is go deep enough into a select group of technologies such that we can articulate the evolutions that are happening and what is the value that can be driven by the intersection of academia and business, right, which is core to the ISSIP value proposition. So that's the thinking along this. We've formed a group of volunteers, and there's a merry band of 4 volunteers listed to the right. I'm leading the group, but the real credit goes to the folks that are doing the heavy lifting. And through Jim, we were very fortunate to have Dr. Hisham El Shishini join us, who's a former chief scientist at IBM with deep expertise in cognitive. And then we have two very interesting folks that are part of this, Wynand and Sarek, both of whom are entrepreneurs in their own right with passion around some of these technologies. So we're currently in the process of identifying the top two or three that we want to go deep into from the list on the left, and we're going to continue to pursue those. I expect to do an update to the leadership team next week where we've got a little bit more detail on the technologies that are of areas of passion to the folks that are participating. So we're always open to get additional volunteers. I know there's one other person that was suggested just earlier this week. So if anyone's got participants that you think could help us here, we'd love to have them join us.
So, Sunil, this is Conrad Tucker from Penn State. My area of research is in machine learning and deep learning, and I was wondering how, moving forward, I could potentially be involved in this effort.
I tell you, I'd love to have your participation. So if I can ask you for a favor, if you would email your contact information to me, let's you and I catch up live offline. I'll give you a little more context and color into this. And then through the dialogue, we can figure out what the right intersection is. But we'd love to have the help.
Yeah,
Great,
and I have both of your emails. I can connect the two of you.
That'd be great, Yasi. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Sunil. Next item on the agenda is just covering other events. Ralph mentioned some of these. I'll go into it a little more in detail. And typically, Dr. Haluk Demirkan, who's on the board and also chair of the conferences committee, covers these slides, but he has a midterm at this very hour, so he couldn't join us today. So we talked about the NSF workshop. We also were at HICS 50 and had we're actually a very strong presence, and we gave 5 ISSIP IBM Best Student Paper Award, and we held 1 innovation luncheon in February. And looking ahead into 2017 and 2018, we have a Discovery Summit coming up next month. And our Discovery Summits are by invitation only workshops that are industry members. They're led by our industry members with a theme that some, or at least one or some of our industry members are interested in. So for this year, we have, our goal is to have at least 2. And so this one is the one we'll be holding for the first half of the year. Then we'll also be, several of us will be at 8th International Conference on Applied Human Factors with the help of ISSIP members, and specifically a call to Professor Lou Front. At HSE, we have started a new T-Summit track, and one of the things that we are looking at is doing the same perhaps at HICS, that going forward, it's one of the conferences that we'll be participating in. 2 of our proposals for HICS 2018 have been accepted, and on workshops that we'll be holding, not as part of the conference, not as mini tracks, but workshops just before the conference. And of course, Ralph, Haluk, and Jim run a mini track at HICS, have been running a mini track at HICS for the last several years. And I know Diane Fidel from IBM has been leading workshops on cognitive computing, and look forward to working with Diane also on the next HICS. And we're also working with our colleagues at JST we've been actually invited by our colleagues at JST to hold workshops at AAAS February of next year, and we've proposed a potential of a discovery summit around that time with JST. Most of you know that we had a discovery summit last year in Japan in collaboration with JST, and so we've made that proposal, and we're looking at other potential participation in meetings and conferences. So stay tuned for more coming down the pipe. Everyone here, I think, knows that we have a partnership with Business Expert Press, through which we offer our members opportunity to publish books through Business Expert Press. Dr. Demirkan, Haluk Demirkan, and Jim Sporer are co-editors of this book series. And 24 books have been published since, for the last, I think since 2014, we have started this partnership. And so a great roster of books that have been already published. And only 4 this last quarter, and there are 13 more in progress. And also on the paper front, as I mentioned, we did hold the Discovery Summit last year with JST, and together with JST, we published a report of this. In fact, this came out just a couple of weeks ago, and will be posted on the ISSIP website in the next few days. Now, switching gear into special interest groups, education and research special interest group has been our longest running SIG, and we're grateful to Haluk and Jim for co-leading this special interest group. The SIG continues to hold a weekly speaker series on Wednesday mornings Pacific time, 7:30 to 8 every Wednesday morning. And we have a total of 154 presentations that are on the ISSIP website. Also, Haluk and Diane keep a current list of data sets. That list is up to 90 sources. And those are all on the ISSIP website. Also, the SIG is SIG members are really who's behind a lot of our activities at HICS, in addition to the Service Innovation Framework SIG. Both of those SIGs are very active at HICS. And so going forward, the goal for 2017 is to continue the calls, have at least one paper published on the ISSIP.org, and grow the SIG and the activities of the SIG, which is in publications and in events. Next one is Service Innovation Framework. DJ, would you like to say a few words on that?
Sure, yeah. So I think a couple of slides ago, we kind of covered the partnership we had with Savannah College of Art and Design recently, which was a great partnership. But in addition to that, we've had some other efforts underway relatedly around creating publications. We're working on creating an executive summary, as well as publishing our service innovation blocks, which a big thanks goes to Dr. Gerhard Gudogan on that from Akron University. And we've also been have created a case study around a partnership we had with Cisco in the last year, where they used our service innovation framework for success and driving real business outcomes, and that will be published on the ISSIP website very soon. For 2017, we're looking to publish in the Journal of Service Science. That's currently in progress, potentially creating a certification badging sort of mechanism around our service innovation framework and PCI methodology that we've created. And in addition to that, identifying additional industry and student partnerships that we can really work with to further evangelize the methodology that we've created.
Excellent, thank you, PJ. Next, service design SIC. Just so that everyone knows, the SIC has gone through a little bit of transition on the leadership side. So I'm very thankful to Leslie Tom and Jieling Wang for taking the leadership, and very grateful to Don Allen and for running the SIG so far, and they remain members. But I think Leslie and Tom, Leslie and Jia Liang, basically took over the leadership over the last couple of months, I think. So Leslie, do you want to say a couple of words?
Sure. Yeah, Jay Ling regrets he's in Singapore, so it's 3 a.m. his time now, so couldn't make the meeting. But yeah, it's definitely in transition. It's a lot of excitement that JL and I have with the SIG, because Daniela Segnoli-Gori and JJ Lee presented a paper and developed a sort of service design communication tool at ServDes in 2016. And we wrote a blog also about sort of our work, and we're seeking industry partners to kind of do some more research and test out this communication tool a little bit more coming into 2017. So we have a meeting with Kaiser Permanente at the end of the month, and there's also a number of partnerships I think that can start to be created with museums to look at how service design can enhance sort of the experience within a museum setting. So that's sort of where we are, and we'll just keep everyone updated.
Thanks, Leslie. The SDN SIG, led by Casimir Kosatis, they've been making great progress. Several events that they have presented at, and Casimir couldn't join us today, and I think next time we'll get a detailed scoop of the presentations for the last quarter, and they continue to for the remainder of the year with delivering on more promotion of education around SDN and NFV, and I know Casimir is planning to actually talk at one of the innovation speaker series. And next SIG is IoT and data analytics. Prashant, would you like to say a couple of words on that?
Yeah, sure. So on the IoT analytics SIG, we have been focusing on security. And so myself and Debashish from Samsung, Kilton from Northeastern University, and Amar from Cisco, the four of us have been collaborating on this, and we have been meeting regularly. We made good progress. We were able to create a simple test bed. We first reached out to different universities to see if they have a test bed that we can use, but we were not able to secure one. So we just created a simple one ourselves using the tools that we had. And what we're doing next is looking deeply at the different layers, that is at the edge layer, the connectivity layer, the cloud layer, and also the analytics layer, that where exactly are the gaps or holes for security, and what is it that we recommend for enterprises to plug those gaps. So the output of this, we are thinking that will be a white paper and maybe a publication. And we'll let you know the progress, how it goes. It has been a little slow compared to what I was thinking because of the busy schedules that folks have. But hopefully we will make more progress in the next quarter and report out some good progress on that.
Excellent. Thank you, Prashant. And then update on the chapters. I won't go into every one of them in the interest of time. I think Ralph actually mentioned some of the activities with the Swiss chapter. And I know Diane is on the call. So Diane, would you like to tell us a little bit about the cognitive computing community of interest?
Thanks, Yasi. So I run a weekly speaker series similar to what Haluk does for ISSIP, but my speaker series is called the Cognitive Systems Institute Speaker Series. It's 30 minutes like Haluk's speaker series. It's on Thursday mornings at 10:30 in the morning Eastern time. It's 7:30 in the morning Pacific time. We've had some really wonderful and renowned speakers on all things cognitive. It's an eclectic audience. It's some experts in cognitive, some novices in cognitive. It's mostly university researchers, some industry folks, and some IBMers attend the calls. I record each one of the sessions, and I get usually between 50 and 70 views of the recordings each week. But I actually need a speaker for next week. So if anybody knows anyone who would like to speak on the topic of anything cognitive, we've had everything from deep learning and machine learning research all the way to the legal ramifications of cognitive and the ethical considerations for cognitive systems and assistance. But I'm looking for a speaker for May 4th. So if anybody has a recommendation, please send it to me. But you could just Google Cognitive System Speaker Series and you should get the page. And I have a library of over 100 presentations, the recordings of 100 presentations. And I've heard from several faculty that they use these presentations with their students. Anyway, if anybody's interested in presenting or want more information or want to get on my distribution list, please email me at fodel@us.ibm.com. We also have a LinkedIn discussion group for the Cognitive Systems Institute, and that's over 1,020 members now. And that's a place for conversation, and I also post information about the sessions there.
Excellent.
I tell you, that's fantastic. This is Sunil. I'd love, Yasi, if I can ask you to send the email. I didn't have a chance to write it down quickly enough. I'd love to get on the distribution.
I'll connect you, and I'll put Diane. I'll put some of these links here. I'll update the slides because they go on ISSIP.com, ISSIP.org. Sorry. So thank you so much, Diane. This is a phenomenal community of interest. And Diane, sorry for the not being precise about the name here. So I'll correct that as well.
No problem. And I can send you the links, Yasi. Thanks for letting me say a few words.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, one quick question. What's the difference between a SIG and a community of interest?
So a SIG is a lot more formal. Community of interest, anyone can start a community of interest. A SIG is definitely driven by an institutional member of ISSIP. So in this case, you could really question why this is being called a community of interest, because it is being driven by IBM. So, but that's the main distinction.
I see. Got it. Thank you.
Sure. On the ambassador front, basically, our ambassador to VTT, Dr. Marja Toivanen, has retired from VTT and has passed the baton to Dr. Kaiser Stills, who's been active in ISSIP since the last HICS. In the last few months, she's been very active, and she actually participated in the NSF workshop and is working with several of us on different areas of collaboration on innovation ecosystems. So we want to welcome Dr. Kaiser Steels as a new ambassador to the VTT and Finnish Service Alliance, and we look forward to her participation and contributions to the community. None of the things that we talked about here could have gotten done without the contributions of our members. Just a call out to a few, and my apologies if I'm missing anyone. This is just to call out some of the people who have been active in the last quarter. There are many more whose names do not appear here. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but we're very grateful to all of our volunteers that basically make ISSIP. Just an update on the operations front. So on the institutional membership, we have 2 new members, University of Warwick and Getong University, Seoul, Korea. Also, University of Naples, through our long-time member, Clara Bassano, is interested in becoming an academic member of ISSIP, so I'm working with Clara on that. We're expanding our pipeline, specifically some of the companies that participated in our recent workshop are Accenture, Lam Research, and Johnson Controls, that we are inviting them to get more engaged with ISSIP and really co-create with us. Our existing members continue, basically IBM and Cisco renewed membership, and we're very grateful to them. And GE and JST's membership will not be up for renewal another several months, and we hope to co-create enough value for them to continue that membership. And we're engaging other companies in the pipeline as we create more value in ISSIP for others to engage. And as always, we're looking for everyone with help to basically bring ISSIP community to your network. And if you see value in ISSIP, please invite others to come and join. On the individual membership front, we've had a good steady growth in the last quarter. And what is really interesting, I won't go into the details of this, but we're seeing really an uptick of students, significant uptick of students. Relative less numbers on the company front, but that's because we had a lot of basically the ratios are changing, but a good percentage came from students last quarter. And then on other operations, our tax documents have been filed, both state and federal. Some other state forms have been filed. And our annual report is on the website. 2016 is posted on the website. And finally, I'll just leave this. Our financials basically based on plan and what is expected. And I'll just leave this for a second if there are any questions. And if there are no questions, then thanks for listening. And I want to open it up now. We have 15 minutes that we can open up. If you have any questions for the board members and anything that's on your mind, now the floor is open.
Thanks, Yasi. I had a quick question for Leslie. As part of the service design group, is there a need right now for additional members or additional bodies of work that you're trying to get staffed?
Yeah, sure. This is Leslie. We're open to a lot. So right now it's just JL and I who are kind of been brainstorming and just seeing what sticks and communicating back to the existing group. But yes, there's
yeah. Heather, actually, let me say something about that, because I think there are lots of synergies between what I have seen in the service design group and the service innovation framework group. And I think it would be great if you and Leslie have a conversation. So I'll be happy to connect the two of you as well.
Great.
That would be great, Yasi. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, thoughts, comments?
Just a quick comment from me, Yasi, a shout out to you, because you've done a really good job of keeping us all in line and keeping this very well organized. So thank you to you as well.
Thank you so much, Sunil. This is
I second that motion, Sunil.
Yeah,
Amen to that.
Well, thank you. Well, this is a team effort. Thank you so much. Okay. Any other comments? This is a good opportunity if you have something on your mind that you want to share with the ISSIP leadership, the board. Okay, then in that case, we can finish the meetings earlier. Thanks everyone for joining. And I'll post everything to the ISSIP website shortly after this. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.